been a bit. Hey, what's up Stitches? It's me again, Serena. I am back. It has been a bit since I've sat down here on What's Up Stitches segment. I think the last time I checked in was the end of November, probably right after Thanksgiving. It is now less than a week until Christmas, and it's been a bit. I think the last time I checked in, I was about a week before I went to New York City. And then New York City was awesome. It was tiring, but it was really, really awesome. And then ever since we got back from New York City, I have basically just been trying to do catch up before the Christmas break and Christmas holiday. Carving out a little bit of time right before Christmas to share some of my knitting that I got done the last month or so. In this episode, I'm going to share a finished knitted sweater, another finished knitted sweater that I messed up that I now have to go back and repair. I am going to share the beginnings of my Christmas socks. I don't know if I'm going to finish them before Christmas, but I will try anyways. And last but not least, I'm going to be sharing a impromptu gifted knit. Without further ado, let's jump on in. So I'm wearing my jolly Christmas sweater that I finished. I love it. There are some fit issues, but I love it mostly loved it. I am a newbie knitter, so I am learning how I like my sweaters to fit on me as I go. And so I liked knitting on this. I found it to be a pretty easy sweater pattern to follow. The color work was pretty much straightforward, and I just like how it kind of contrasts with the red. I love the sleeve detail, and this detail is also on the bottom. This pattern I got from Ravelry, and it is titled The Christmas Sweater, and it was made by, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, but by Una Eva Arnastotier. I'm sorry again if I mispronounced that. It called for worsted weight, and I ordered my yarn, of course, from Knit Picks. I am on their email list, and I think back in October I got an email stating that their Wool of the Andes worsted weight was $1.99 a skein. And I'm like, sweet! Let me see if I can order a sweater's quantity for my Christmas sweater, which I did, which I think all in total, this Christmas sweater cost less than $30, which is amazing considering you most of the time have to order a lot of yarn in order to make a sweater. With it being worsted weight, it kind of knitted up a lot faster than my thinner yarn sweaters. The colors, Eli, sorry, my dog is, he's being a dog in the corner right there. I will put all the colors down below that I use from Knit Picks. Like I said, I really like the yoke. It is a little bit of an itchier sweater than my pumpkin sweater, just because my pumpkin sweater was made with merino wool, and this is just Highland type sheep, so it's a little more itchy, it's a little more coarse, the yarn. The things that I didn't like about the pattern is just my personal fit issues. The way that the yoke is, there are no shaping whatsoever with the yoke, and so that I just don't like how it pulls down right here. If I feel like it, and probably not until next year, I will probably unravel this neck and do some short row shaping in the back, just so it doesn't, it feels like it's choking me right here. It just feels like it's, I just don't like how it pulls. Another thing is that this is probably just me because I'm a newbie knitter, is the neck barely fits over my ginormous head. And I do have a bigger head than a normal American woman. I tend to have to get extra large men's hat. And so, yeah, I don't know how to fix that. If you, like, tell me down below. I did, like, a loose bind off, and I did it with the ribbing and pattern. But like, I don't know how I can fix that. Another fit issue I had is in the body shaping. The body is knitted just basically a straight tube. So I have this, and this might be just my body type. I have this weird, like, bagginess situation, and maybe I knitted it too long. I did extend it longer than the pattern called for. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this pattern is knitted from the bottom up, which I don't really like, to be honest with you. I'd rather start from the top down, but whatever. If I were to knit the sweater again, and since it is knitted from the bottom up, I can't really easily go back here and do shaping. I would do a couple of decreases in the body right here, or I would just make it a more baggier sweater. The arms, they fit pretty well, but if I want to layer it with anything, it's just too tight. So I don't know, like I said, I learned a lot with this sweater. Would I make this sweater again? I probably would make this sweater again. I would do a couple adjustments that I will make sure that I write my notes in my pattern for that. All right, moving on. The sweater that you guys probably thought I was going to share today that was finished is my Nutcracker sweater from Fable Knitwear. I finished it right before Thanksgiving, actually, and I wore it to the ballet to go see the Nutcracker. And since I'm laughing at myself, but since I finished this so like to the wire of actually going to go see the Nutcracker in this new sweater, I kind of panicked and messed up a little bit. And that is with the neckline, and I'll touch base with that in just a little bit. I just want to let you know I love this. I love this fabric that it is. It is, again, Knit Picks DK Weight Gloss. It is a merino and silk base. It is in the color Velveteen. I just want to like snuggle up with it. Trying not to get my makeup on it, but it's so soft and plush. But I just love the details. I love the seed stitch. I love the bobbles. I do not like creating the bobbles, but I love the look of the bobbles once they're finished. And you guys, these sleeves, they're amazing. Amazing. And I love how the sleeves are kind of fluted. I think I prefer this type of sleeve shape than just like the fitted sleeve shape. Definitely do. So the problem that I ran into when putting the sweater on, so the neckline is a double knit. It's a folded down. I did that. I sewed it, just like barely tacked it in and tried to pull it over. Again, my big head, and it would not go over my head. So instead of like a normal person of taking it off and, you know, taking it off and actually looking at where they're cutting, because I thought that maybe if I cut where I tacked the fold over line, it would like pull it out more. But I was in a rush to get to the ballet, so I just kind of like did this thinking that I was just cutting my tack stitches, which I didn't. I did end up wearing this to the ballet, not knowing that I accidentally cut into the actual fabric, which luckily is not that too far down. It's right here on the neckline. So what I'm going to do after Christmas probably is pull it all the way back to here. Obviously I have to fix that. And I am going to try to figure out, again, another bind off situation that makes it more elastic. Again, I love this sweater. I think Fable Knitwear, this is my first Fable Knitwear pattern. Again, this is the Nutcracker jumper. I think that it is very well written, taking into account that there's a lot that you gotta keep track of. I am definitely going to go back to Fable Knitwear because I love all of her patterns. Okay, so there's that. Hopefully the next time I check in again with you guys with a What's Up Stitches, this will be fixed and it will fit over my ginormous head. Moving on to Christmas socks. Again, I am a newbie knitter and I have never made socks. So I am kind of experimenting. So I decided to kind of experiment with my first pair of socks. Let them be Christmas. So I picked up a couple of skeins of this West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply. It's a self-striping yarn. I really like the stripes that it's given me. I picked this up from one of my local yarn stores that is sadly going out of business, and that's why I picked up, I think, 4 skeins of this. So I'm going to have a lot of the stuff left over once I am finished with my socks. And the top I decided to do in this pink cuff, only because when I started to do the ribbing, and since it's a self-striping sock, I didn't like how the cuff ribbing was going to be divided in multiple stripes. I just didn't think that it was cohesive enough for me. So I decided to use pink. I don't know if it goes, but I feel like pink and like these bright, kind of grinchy Dr. Seuss Christmas colors just kind of go together. So I decided to do the cuff in pink. I'm going to try to do the heel flap in pink as well as the toe. Also because the pink is, I think, the Cascade sock yarn. I don't know what exactly it's called, but it has a little bit of nylon in it along with the wool to give it more durability, especially in the heel and the toes. I think I will need that durability, whereas this West Yorkshire Spinners is just 100% wool, so this will wear down faster. I didn't even mention the pattern that I'm using. It is a free pattern, and I will definitely link this below. It's from Knit Picks. Can you all tell that I love Knit Picks? It is their Teenage Kicks socks. So far, so good. I have not gotten that far. I am knitting 2 at a time on 2 different really long cables. I am, though, a loose knitter, so the fabric that I'm getting with my size 0 needles, which size 0 is the smallest amount of needles that I could find on a long cable. It's kind of given me a looser knit, not what I would think of as a sock, but I don't know if there are options for me to go down farther than a size 0. So I don't know if my socks are just going to be loose or if I should just try to knit socks with a thicker yarn. I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of experimenting with this. So hopefully I will get these done before Christmas. Probably not, unless I solely work on these, which I'm not because I am currently knitting a gift knit, which is my next project. Let's pull this over. This is a little funny story. I am an avid thrifter and I love thrifting for the luxury fibers in clothing, particularly wool and cashmere and silk and all of those things. And you know, you generally don't think of wool as a luxury fiber, but to me it is, just because the standard fast fashion brands don't carry wool. Everything is polyester or acrylic, so to me it's kind of luxury. But I thrifted, I wish I could put this on, but my hair is already done. I thrifted this lovely little beanie that has a hole up here for your bun or for your ponytail. And I came home with it and my 12-year-old kid saw it. She's like, oh, I really like this. Can I have it? I'm like, and she has shorter hair. I'm like, well, you know, it has a hole in the top. She's like, well, I don't mind it. I can also like sew it up. I'm like, don't sew the hole. That's like why I bought it, for my thick hair. So I told her, I was like, well, I could just make you a hat that's similar. The reason why she likes this hat more than her current winter hat is because she has a very long slouchy beanie. She wanted something that was like a skull cap that was like more fitted to her head. So I said, okay, go down to my yarn stash and pick out something. If I don't have a project eared on it, then I'll use that fiber. Last summer I thrifted some skeins of wool. This is actually wool and acrylic mix, and she picked out 2 colors, this kind of burgundy color and this lovely blue. And I love the marling effect of it. One of them is, I can't even read it, stone blue green. It's from Sandstone, and this one is Louise something. The labels on it are covering. I'll put it right here because I have it in my Ravelry stash. So she picked these 2, and I kind of am not following a pattern. I'm just kind of winging it. Obviously, I can't do exactly what this is. I decided to do a stripe with 2 rows each. I started, I think, with 64 stitches on a big cable, knitting it on a US size 10. I did 8 rows of rib, and then I just alternated the colors every 2 rows, and I think I knitted 20 rows in total before I started the decreases in the shaping. And I'm doing the last 7 rows as kind of a winging decrease in shaping. This has actually come together fairly quickly. This has taken me about 2 nights so far in front of the TV doing, and I think I will be able to finish it tonight because I think I only have about 4 rows left. I have plenty of yarn left, so I might I don't know if I can do it before Christmas. Do a pair of mittens or maybe a scarf for her as well. That is it, my friend. This will probably be the last What's Up stitches before the start of the new year. I might do a year make, which I will combine all of my knits that I made as well as my sewing, because I also like to sew, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot this year that I am so proud and excited to share with you guys. So I hope you guys all have a happy holiday, whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or solstice. I hope you guys all are staying safe and warm and healthy. I will see you guys later. Bye.